All right, Facebook Bulletproof Systems. So let's just chat about how we're setting up our systems and structures here in this video, because it is a vital element to having longevity and consistency with your campaigns and also minimizing risk of shutdowns. So unfortunately, shutdowns are a guarantee pretty much. You are going to get an ad account shut down, a business manager shut down, a Facebook profile restricted, or a Facebook page restricted from advertising. It's just part and parcel of running ads. And it doesn't really matter if you're running, the whitest of white hat or the blackest of black hat. You're still at risk of getting shut down, okay? I've had, some of the most vanilla, plain Jane campaigns promoting legit offers, nothing to do with health, nothing to do with supplements, like home services, like a free quote for a roof replacement. Okay, nothing scammy about it. Ad account gets shut down, right? So it happens across all niches. Facebook or Meta is sometimes that way out, and will sometimes go through periods of time where it's more strict, usually in Q4, where more and more advertisers come to the platform for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas deals. So we'll sometimes see peaks and troughs of how strict Facebook's policies are, which is where we'll maybe sometimes see increases in shutdowns for very little, okay? All right, so the way that we set this up, and before we go into it, I want to give a shout out to the person that put me onto this system, which is John Casto. And John has his own course and basically teaches his own bulletproof system, which this is pretty much the exact same system. I took this from John. I've learned this from John. Super good guy, just super knowledgeable and great advertiser, great media buyer, a lot in lead gen. So if that's your thing, then I would definitely recommend looking at his course, and I shall link to it in the description. Or if you're looking at going into more detail on bulletproof systems, John's the man. He's a wealth of knowledge in this space. So highly recommend you check John Casto out. Again, I'll link to it in the description if you're interested. Okay, so let's use an example. Let's say we have 10 ad accounts that are available to us to use to run ads, okay? This is how I would set up my system, all right? So I would first have a master business manager. The sole purpose of this business manager is to create, house, and manage pixels, which are now known as data sets, okay? So your Facebook pixel. So let's say we have 4 different offers we're going to run over the next month or two. Let's say diet, blood sugar, fungus, and skincare. I would create a data set or pixel for each one of those offers inside of this business manager, and when the time comes, I would share each data set with the relevant business manager that is going to manage those campaigns, okay? We'll get onto that in a second. So in this business manager, we also want 2 unique profiles, Facebook profiles. So it could be your personal profile, it could be 2 profiles that you've bought. These 2 profiles are going to manage this business manager. They are going to create the data sets and share the data sets and remove access to the data sets as and when needed, okay? Vitally important, we have 2 unique profiles inside of this business manager that are admins, okay? So these profiles are not going to run ads. They do not want to be restricted. So if you have a restricted profile, you cannot use that one. They need to be clean profiles. Both need to be set to admin. And the sole purpose of these profiles is to manage the master business manager, which sole purpose is to house, create, and share pixels known as data sets. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. Next, we need 2 Facebook profiles, which are going to be page manager profiles. So for this purpose, you can either create new pages using these 2 profiles, or you can buy pages. I recommend you create them. I don't really see much difference in buying them. And quite often, you don't know how they've been created. And these pages can sometimes go down quite easily. I think the easiest thing to do is just create them from scratch using one of your 2 Facebook page manager profiles. Okay, so these are 2 profiles, again, separate from these 2 profiles. All right, these 2 profiles, the only thing they're doing is managing the master business manager. We now have 2 separate profiles, which are there to create and manage Facebook pages. In order to run ads, we need a page to run the ad from, okay? Again, these profiles are not running ads, okay? They're not, running or joined to any business manager. They are literally admins of the pages that you're creating to run ads from, okay? So they will post on the page, relevant content. They will answer comments. They will answer messages. They will invite people who engage with your posts and ads to like the page and engage with the page. That's all their purpose is to manage and create and share Facebook pages, okay? Then we've got 2 safety Facebook profiles, okay? So these profiles are going to be safety admins. So the purpose of these profiles is to sit on every one of your advertising business managers. We're going to have 5 advertising business managers and 1 master. So 6 business managers altogether. The 5 business managers, these 2 safety profiles will be on each of those 5 business managers as an admin, okay? They are not on the master business manager. They are only on the 5 advertising business managers, okay? So they get added as admins. They are not there to advertise. They are not there to manage campaigns or anything like that. The role of these 2 profiles is to add and remove assets to the advertising business managers, such as advertising profiles, data sets, pages, etc., etc. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to envision what this looks like, and I understand that it can be quite confusing when I'm talking to you, and we are going to look at it in a diagram in a second, but I want to walk through it first so you have an understanding of what everything means. Okay, after that, we have 5 advertising Facebook profiles, okay? Each one of these Facebook profiles will be the advertising profile, as in managing the advertising campaigns in each of the business managers. So you have 5 advertising profiles, 5 advertising business managers. So advertising profile 1 will be in business manager 1. Advertising profile 2, business manager 2. Advertising profile 3, business manager 3, and so forth. Okay. The sole purpose and role of this advertising profile is to create and manage ads inside of the ad account in their relevant business manager. Okay. So 1 profile or 1 advertising profile per advertising business manager. Okay. You do not add all 5 profiles to all 5 business managers. You add 1 to 1 business manager. Profile 2 goes in business manager 2. Profile 3, business manager 3. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay. Then we have 5 business managers, and these are the advertising business managers, and their purpose is to share. So in here we have 2 of our 10 ad accounts shared to each business manager. So business manager 1 will have ad account 1 and 2. Business manager 2 will have ad account 3 and 4. Business manager 3 will have ad account 5 and 6, and so forth. Okay. So 2 ad accounts to each business manager. And we then have one of our advertising profiles in each of those business managers, which can launch and manage campaigns in both of those ad accounts. Okay. We also have a data set assigned from the master business manager. So let's say we have 2 ad accounts in business manager 1, and we want to run both of those ad accounts as diet. Okay. We would then share the diet data set from the master business manager using one of our unique profiles to share or assign a partner. And we would then put the business manager 1 business ID in that. And again, we'll go through this over the shoulder in another video. And obviously then we'd share the data set with that business manager. And then in here, the safety profile can then allocate that data set to the specific ad account we want to use to launch and manage campaigns. Okay. All right. Then we add our, so here we add our 2 safety profiles to each of the 5 BMs. Okay. And we add one of our advertising profiles to each of the 5 PMs. Okay. 1 profile per BM. Okay, so let's quickly read through this. So it might seem like overkill, but there's nothing more frustrating when you have a scaled campaign, which is printing profit, and you're running solely with 1 profile and 1 BM. And then either the profile gets restricted or your BM gets disabled and you're helpless. Okay, everything's in that business manager. Okay, and everything was being managed by that 1 profile. If it gets restricted, either the BM or the profile, It's ruined, right? You're then going to have to start from scratch. You're then going to have to start and source a new business manager, a new profile, new ad accounts to get into them, which haven't been tainted by this business manager, right? So preparing a system similar to the above is paramount if you want consistency in your campaigns. Shutdowns and restrictions are inevitable, so it's a good idea to prepare ahead of time. And I learned this the hard way, countless times, prior to me setting up this system. Countless times I was caught short, and didn't have this type of setup, and I'd have to start from scratch. And it is the most stressful thing if you're making profit and you're doing well. It's so easy to let your guard down, and then you get wiped out, and then you're like, oh shit, now there's nothing, no money coming in, because everything was reliant on that business manager or that profile managing those ads. And he can't now manage those ads because he's restricted. Okay. Business manager can't touch anything because the business manager's down, or all the ad accounts are wiped out, or whatever it is, right? So setting it up this way, where we have 5 business managers that are all running ads, okay, and 2 ad accounts per business manager. Well, if one business manager, BM1, goes down, we still have 4 BMs, each with 8 ad accounts in total, still running, right? Well, if the page gets whacked, then we just remove it. Or if one of the BM gets, one of the business managers goes down, we can remove the data sets from the master business manager. So we unshare or unassign that partner, and then we still have that data set. It's not housed in the business manager that just got shut down, which we can no longer access. So we still have access to everything. We still have control over everything. All right. So I buy or rent all of my profiles and BMs. Okay. My own personal profile was permanently banned years ago. And so were my brothers, sisters, and fiancés. I've used all my family's profiles. They've all been taken out. And so now I have no choice but to buy or rent, because I don't want to have to farm my own and create my own, which you could do. It's just very time intensive. I don't have the time. I'd rather, pay $20 for a profile or $50 for a BM and buy ad accounts and just get up and running within hours. Okay. I will be sharing my resources. I would prefer that you reach out to me on Telegram, which I will link to, for resources for profiles, business managers, pages, and ad accounts. Obviously, I want to make sure that you're serious and you're not going to waste my sources' time. So if you reach out to me on Telegram, I can hook you up, okay? You'll have to bear with me. Obviously, if I'm getting inundated with messages, it's going to take me a little bit of time to reply to everyone. But I will do my best and my utmost, and potentially we might outsource this to a VA, one of our team, to help with the message management if we're getting inundated. All right, guys. So in the next video, we will be looking, in fact, I'll join it onto this video. We're going to look at the Facebook diagram. All right. So, as promised, the diagram. So, hopefully this breaks it down a little bit more easier with the visualization of how this looks. I will do an over-the-shoulder sort of walkthrough of setting this up, just so, because I know some people are going to grasp the concept and be able to put it together easier, actually seeing it done in real time. So again, we spent 10-15 minutes going through the document with the walkthrough, and then obviously we've got a diagram, which again I think will help some people visualize it, and I know there's going to be some people that just prefer or grasp things easier when they actually see it being done. So I'm going to try and cater for everyone. All right, so let's talk through this. So we've got our master BM at the top. Okay, remember we have the one master business manager, which could be your personal business manager. It could be a business manager that you've already had. It could be one that you buy or rent or whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. But that master business manager, remember, the sole purpose is literally to be creating, managing, and sharing data sets and pixels, okay? We have 2 unique profiles that manage that business manager. Those profiles do not manage any ads of any type, okay? They are, again, sole purpose is to sit in that master business manager and make sure data sets can be removed from any business managers that do get restricted and can be shared to new business managers in order to run ads in different niches that you might be already running in. All right. Then we've got our 2 safety Facebook profiles. Okay, so remember we have the 2 safety Facebook profiles. These are going to be admins on each of our 5 advertising business managers. Okay, so the same 2 profiles sit as an admin on BM1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these 2 profiles have access to all 5 business managers, the advertising business managers. Okay, their sole purpose is to sit as an admin in each of those business managers, and should an advertising profile become restricted, okay, that one of the safety profiles can remove the advertising profile and then add a new advertising profile, okay, to that business manager. They can also add ad accounts, create ad accounts, add pages, accept, pixel shares, etc., right? Again, really important. Those 2 safety profiles are literally there to be admins and nothing else. They are not there to manage ads. They do not touch ads. They are there just to be able to remove an ad whenever needed. Okay. All right. Then we've got our 5 advertising business managers. Okay, so BM1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you can see my lovely little arrows for the 2 safety profiles added to each of these 5 BMs. Okay, now BM1 has 2 ad accounts, BM2 ad account 3 and 4, BM3 ad account 5 and 6, 7 and 8 inside BM4, 9 and 10 in BM5. Remember, our example is we have 10 ad accounts. We have 2 in each of the advertising BMs. Again, we spread the risk, we diversify, we hedge. If ad account 2 goes down, it doesn't matter. We've still got 9 ad accounts running, right? Or active or able to run. Maybe we don't have ads active in every single one of these ad accounts, but we have the ability to do so. If BM2 goes down, it's okay. We've got BM1, 3, 4, 5 to fall back on, okay? It's not as in, in the previous video, I used the example where, if you were running ads from one business manager, everything was in one business manager, all of your ad accounts were in one business manager, you only had one profile managing everything. If that profile gets restricted, you're done. You can't add anything to that business manager because you don't have a profile that is not restricted. A restricted profile cannot add or do anything in that business manager. Okay, so now you're screwed, right? Because you need to have a new business manager, a new profile. Obviously, you're not screwed, but it's just going to be time and stress, which you can basically alleviate from by setting up a similar structure. Yes, it's more work up front than having one business manager and one profile, but this type of foresight where you're preparing is going to set you head and shoulders above the rest, okay? Because it's inevitable that you're going to get shut down, whether it's an ad account, whether it's a profile, whether it's a business manager, whether it's all 3. It's going to happen, okay? Being set up like this is going to help you stay fluid and be able to pivot. So super, super important. All right, so we've got all, 2 ad accounts to each BM, all right? Then we have 5 advertising profiles, okay? Now, each one of these profiles will have its own unique business manager. So you will add advertising profile 1 to BM1. Advertising profile 1 will launch and manage ads in ad account 1 and ad account 2, okay? Advertising profile 2 will do the same, but in BM2 for ad accounts 3 and 4. Profile 3 will do the same in BM3 for ad accounts 5 and 6, and so forth. Okay, so doing it this way, hopefully you can see we've got our advertising profiles coming in, and these are basically, they're not admin. They are just, you might have a media buyer handle one of these profiles, right? So they're not an admin. The admins are the safety profiles, okay? So safety profile 1 would add advertising profile 1 to the BM and give them access to ad account 1, ad account 2, the pages that they need, and also the data sets that they need, right? Then if advertising profile 1 gets restricted from advertising, the safety profile can remove that profile, that advertising profile, from the business manager, so it's no longer touching anything, okay? And then add a replacement advertising profile to that business manager, and things can get underway again, all right? And there's no taint, there's no anything wrong with it, because we've removed the bad egg, right? Same goes for the ad account. If ad account 2 gets shut down, we can appeal it. If the appeal gets rejected, we could use the insider to have it activated if we wanted to do so, or we could just remove it from the business manager and get a replacement. Okay, so that's the breakdown. That's how it looks. Overview. Again, I'm not the best. I don't even know what this is, what I've used here, but whatever this diagram is, whatever you'd call this. But I've also put like a little key of what we actually need. So in total, we need a master BM, 2 safety profiles, 5 advertising profiles, 5 advertising BMs, 2 page managing profiles, which I haven't put here, because they're not, these 2 page manager profiles don't have to be put in any BM. Okay, they don't have to be a part of any business manager. They can just be solo, and basically they'll have 50, 60, 70 plus pages on each of those profiles. So when you want to add 2 pages to this BM1, so you want page 1 for ad account 1, page 2 for ad account 2, you would request access from business manager 1. So safety profile 1 would request access to the 2 pages, and then your page manager profile would go into those pages and accept the request. Okay, so then those pages would be added to the business manager. So in total, what that gives us is 6 business managers and 9 profiles needed. So whether you're buying, renting, or farming your own, or using friends and family, doesn't really matter. Me personally, I combine renting and buying. If you were to buy, the profiles, there's different types, but I think 9 profiles is probably going to come in around $100 to $150, give or take. 6 BMs are probably going to be around $200 or $300 combined. So you're probably looking at around $400 or $500 to be set up like this. Okay. Now, granted, if you're starting out, you're probably not going to need to go to this extent. Okay. Perhaps if you're just starting out, you only need a master BM and BM1, and 2 ad accounts, so then straight away, I would still have my 2 safety profiles in BM1, okay, and then my advertising profile. So you'd need 3 profiles, 1 BM and 2 ad accounts. So, don't get put off by this being too much, okay? This is obviously, if you're scaling and you're running large volume, this is exactly what you're going to want, okay? If you're just starting out or you don't have that much budget, don't worry, just dial it down. And then as you progress and as you scale and as you generate more revenue and profit, you can invest into increasing your infrastructure for the Bulletproof Facebook system. Okay. So hopefully this is giving some value and hopefully it's giving some clarity as how this looks. Again, any questions, drop them below. I assume you can drop comments on this video. If not, drop them in the community and we can definitely tackle them. Again, I will be also doing an over the shoulder of how we set this up. Again, super simple and very straightforward, but I know some people will be able to grasp it easier by seeing it actually being done. So I will link to that video somewhere on this description of the video as well. All right, I'll see you in the next one.